Right, let's talk about the Houthis. Officially they call themselves Ansar Allah, or Supporters of God, which you have to admit is a pretty solid brand name. It's got that mix of divine authority and vague menace that really works in the region. But for the rest of us, they're the Houthis, and they've been the dominant force in Yemen for the better part of a decade. Think of them as the most successful and frankly most disruptive startup in the war-torn country of Yemen, a place that has seen more than its fair share of chaos. They started as a theological movement and have since morphed into a formidable military and political power, controlling the capital, Sana'a, and a huge chunk of the country's population. Now, their rise wasn't exactly a quiet affair. It involved a messy, protracted civil war, a humanitarian crisis of biblical proportions, and a whole lot of international finger-pointing. The Houthi slogan, which they are not shy about, is "God is the greatest, death to America, death to Israel, curse the Jews, victory to Islam." This isn't just rhetoric for them, it's a core part of their identity. Fueled by a deep-seated opposition to what they see as Western and Israeli interference in the Middle East. Their influence extends far beyond Yemen's borders, largely because they are a key player in the wider regional chess match. They are widely seen as part of the Axis of Resistance, an alliance of state and non-state actors backed by Iran. This gives them access to funding, training, and most importantly, some seriously advanced hardware. We're talking ballistic missiles, long-range drones, and naval mines. This arsenal has allowed them to punch well above their weight, turning them from a local insurgency into a regional threat that makes everyone from Riyadh to Washington incredibly nervous. So, why does Israel, a country a good 1,000 miles away, suddenly care so much about a group in Yemen? Well, it all comes down to one very important, very narrow strip of water, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This strait is the southern entrance to the Red Sea, and for Israel, it's a vital economic artery. A huge portion of its trade with Asia cars, electronics, instant noodles, passes through this choke point. If that strait gets shut down, or even just becomes dangerous, the economic consequences for Israel would be catastrophic. It's like finding out the only highway to your city is controlled by a biker gang with a penchant for rocket launchers. The Houthis have repeatedly shown they can turn this shipping lane into a shooting gallery. They've attacked commercial vessels, launched sea mines, used anti-ship missiles to threaten ships. For years, their main target was Saudi Arabia and allies. But their "death to Israel" chant isn't just rhetoric. Israeli intelligence has watched as Houthi capabilities improved. Their drones and missiles can hit ships in the Red Sea and potentially reach Eilat, Israel's southern port and naval hub. This is a fundamental shift in Israel's security calculus. Decades of focus on nearby threats, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Syria in the northeast, but now, a new front 1,000 miles to the south has opened. It's a long-distance threat Israel can't fix with a border wall or Iron Dome. The Houthis act as a proxy, letting Iran project power from a safe distance, creating a strategic dilemma the IDF has had to confront head-on. The problem is no longer theoretical, it's a clear and present danger. The final straw, increasing sophistication of Houthi weaponry, not just repurposed Soviet rockets anymore, guided munitions, advanced surveillance drones, coordinated attack strategies, showing training and external support. For Israeli planners, this is a red line. Allowing a hostile group to strangle their main trade route and gain the capacity to strike Israeli soil is unacceptable. The question was when and how Israel would act. The decision? Risk of inaction outweighed the risk of a targeted, decisive intervention. So what happens now that Israel has, hypothetically, taken out several key Houthi commanders? Well, the immediate aftermath is likely to be a mix of chaos and fury. The Houthis will, without a doubt, vow revenge, fiery speeches, massive funeral processions in Sana'a, promises of retaliation against Israeli and American interests. They have a brand to maintain after all. The real question, do they have the capacity to follow through? Their command and control looks disarrayed, harder to orchestrate complex attacks. They might launch a few symbolic, likely inaccurate missiles toward Israel. A truly devastating response is probably beyond their immediate reach. Regionally, reactions split. Iran condemns the strikes as aggression. Hezbollah and allied groups denounce the attacks and call for unity. They'll use the incident to rally support and resistance. Saudi Arabia watches privately pleased, the UAE watches privately pleased. Publicly, those states issue bland calls for de-escalation. Privately, quiet celebration behind closed doors.